Hey friends, it's nice to see you. You notice that I have my friend here with me today. He is a big part of this story. The story that begins at the Last Supper. Jesus is talking to the disciples and he tells Peter, and Peter loves Jesus so much, he tells Peter, before the rooster crows, you will deny you know me 3 times. And of course, Peter doesn't believe it at all. He says, no, Lord, I will not deny you. And then there are the prayers in the garden. And then Jesus gets arrested and all the disciples run away. Peter ends up in a courtyard where there's a fire, maybe like this, where people are standing around it trying to keep warm. And there's people kind of walking around, and one woman looks at Peter and says, hey, you were with him, weren't you? And Peter's like, no, I wasn't. And then somebody else comes along and they said, hey, aren't you the disciple of that Jesus? Don't you know him? And Peter's like, no, I am not a disciple and I don't know him. And it's a little while later and Peter's sitting there, and then another woman comes along and she says, I know you. You were with Jesus who was arrested. And Peter is like, nope, I don't know him. I wasn't with him. And just when he says that, the 3rd time, the rooster crows. And Peter closes his eyes and remembers what Jesus told him, that you will deny me, you will pretend you don't know me 3 times. And Peter runs away and cries. He's so upset with himself. He was so afraid. Now, we do things like that too when we're afraid. We pretend we're not afraid. We pretend things aren't the way they are. We might get crabby. I think what we'll do is you gather around with your family. And the first thing I want you to talk about is, what is something that is scary to you? What are you scared about right now? And once you've done that, this is going to be the tough one. One of the things Peter did was he pretended he didn't know Jesus. He lied. So what I want you to do is to go around the circle of your family, or tell your mom or your sister, who's ever sitting with you, what is something that you have done today or yesterday that you aren't very proud of? Something that you feel bad about. It's called a sin. Share that around the circle. And when you get done, what you can do is say to the person next to you after they've shared, you are forgiven. Because we know that even though Peter sinned and he hurt Jesus badly, that Jesus forgave him the minute those words were out of Peter's mouth.